So let's just start with some basic movements. I'm just gonna have you do a squat. So however you would squat.
Okay.
Let's just do like 4 or 5 reps.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
How's this feel?
This feels okay.
So no tension through that spot at all?
Nope.
Okay, let's go kind of like sumo stance, even maybe a little bit wider. It's gonna feel a little awkward, but let's try like 4 or 5 reps.
4 or 5?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, like I can feel that right away.
Yeah.
With a sumo position.
And do you feel that high up on that hamstring, or do you feel it more in that belly, like middle?
I feel it more, more in like the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, more in the middle with that one.
Okay. And then let's come all the way like feet together and try to go as low as you can there.
Okay. That one's okay.
No issue there.
No issue there.
Let's go just like a split squat.
Front foot forward?
We're gonna do both, so whatever,
Okay.
whatever you want
Yeah.
to start with. Just do like 3 or 4. So this is obviously feeling okay?
Yep, this side feels okay.
Yep.
This side just feels tighter, but I don't feel any pain.
At the bottom?
Yeah.
Where do you feel that tightness? In your hip flexor more?
Yeah, more into my hip flexor.
Yeah. Which is something you've kind of noted before.
Yeah, I've always had tight hip flexors, so I always
Yeah.
notice my hip flexors with a lot of things.
Let's go like on that same side. Let's go like really long. Like I want you to really get long in that lunge and then try and do it from there.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah. Any difference there at all?
I can feel more of the pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel more of the pull with that one.
Okay. Let's do the other side, just to compare.
Okay. Yeah, that side feels fine.
Yeah. So why do you think you feel it more doing like that long position? And it's okay if you don't know, but I was just like this.
Would it be kind of the same as like it just activates the hamstring more?
Yeah. It's gonna put more load through that spot, right? Like so.
Yeah.
When we go, so why I ask about the bottom of the squat is like a lot of times these issues get irritated with like a deep hip flexion, which is why you notice when you pulled up when we're on the bed, you're getting deeper into hip flexion when you do that. It puts more tension through there because it's stretching that hamstring across like your sit bone, right?
Yeah.
And so when you come here and you're more narrow, there's not as much stretch there. Whereas like when we really lengthen, you could imagine that that hamstring stretching kind of over that spot, and then we're going into hip flexion, which is gonna put some load through it. Oftentimes too, like pushing out of the bottom of that position, because now your hamstring's in a lengthened position, and then we're kind of contracting and creating tension, and that compression of that could actually irritate it a little bit too. That's why I was asking about the sprinting, because like when we're sprinting, we're getting way more of a longer stride, which is gonna put a little bit more stretch on that than like if we do like like a light jog.
Yeah, I'd say when I've been on the treadmill for sprinting, like I haven't noticed.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's why it's like good to look at everything, right? Because sometimes like you're always like, oh yeah, this would correlate, and then it doesn't. So it's like it's a game you gotta play and investigate. Let's try doing like a front foot elevated lunge. So we'll have like front foot here. Let's not go like extremely wide to start. Let's just do like a normal kind of stance, and let's try that.
And just drop back.
Yep.
That feels okay. Yeah, I don't notice anything.
Any different than so that's better than the floor?
That's better than the floor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the other side.
Yeah. I'm like everything. Everybody else says I'm an interesting like person.
Well, this is why it's like you gotta investigate, because like there's so many things you're like, okay, this shouldn't bother, but
this side definitely feels weaker in this position. Like I feel stronger.
In the bottom of that position.
Yeah,
there?
I feel stronger with my leg here.
Yeah.
Than that leg on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a long position one on here. Like really lengthen out.
Really lengthen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I lengthen it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah. Okay. The good thing overall is that like you're tolerating the load relatively well. Like you're not super irritable.
Yeah.
Which means like our entry into improving this is a lot higher. Whereas like if it was way more flared, it's a lot harder to manage it. So like it's a good time for us to address this so that it doesn't get to the point where then you even just doing a split squat position is painful. Okay. So it's a good thing, and what we're trying to do right now is just find out like where is that tolerance to load for you. Yeah. So that we can have an entry point into loading you. We'll probably have to modify a little bit of your training just to make sure that we're not like irritating things. And that doesn't mean not doing as much, but it just means like positional wise, we might modify some things. Okay. But let's just try like quickly like a lateral lunge. I'm just curious to see what you notice with that. Yeah. So we'll go side to side there, and then we'll try some hinging.
Yeah, I feel like as soon as I go to there, that side's not so good.
So right there, you kind of start to feel that.
Yeah, a lot of discomfort.
In through that same spot, like?
Into the same spot.
Yeah. Okay, take a little rest there.
So I feel it, yeah, just all in that area.
Yeah, let's do a hinge.
Hinge?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I get to there, I can feel it bottom of the glute and down.
Okay. We're not going to do too many of that because we know that that's going to bother you.
Yeah.
But let's try doing like a staggered hinge. So
staggered hinge?
More of your weight going to be on that front foot. We're going to be loose in the knee. The back foot's almost just like a kickstand. Okay. And then we're going to hinge down like towards that front. Be gentle with this because I don't want you to like.
Like that actually feels better.
Widen your stance just a little bit. Yeah.
Like there or?
Like that. Yeah.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah. How's that feeling?
Like it doesn't feel as bad.
Not as much, yeah.
As when I bring my feet together.
Yeah. Good. Okay. And then let's use this. We'll have you just stabilize like here, and we're just gonna hinge like a single leg.
Okay. Yeah, I can feel it at the bottom. But not as much as just a regular hinge.
Yeah. Do regular hinge again. How's that feeling? No.
I can still feel it.
Better or worse?
I'd say like maybe a tiny bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it still feels
more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the reason is like you have a really good hinge position. And so what I find, the stagger hinge is a little bit of a weirder position to get like a good hinge in. So you sometimes don't push your hips back as far enough. Whereas in this one, like you're doing a really good job of hinging and driving those hips back. So the more we drive those hips back, the more it's going to load that hamstring up, right?
I've actually been told that a lot, that I don't push them back as much.
Yeah. So like that's probably why you feel it a little bit more there than in the staggered, because like it is a little bit different. It's a bit of a weirder movement than doing double leg, but it makes sense as to why like things like skiing.
Yeah, like the skier, I can feel that. Like and the thing as I get there, I can feel that.
And the thing with the skier too is it's like faster movement, and so like that's why again I was asking a bit about running, because like these muscles, tendon area, like they don't like when they're irritated, like high velocity repetitive movement. So when you think about skiing, we're like, we're pretty high velocity, pretty intense. And so that's definitely why that bothers you a bit. On the spectrum of like loading and how we'd want to get you back is we'd want to start on the spectrum of like slower, heavier resistance loading. Muscles, tendon like that. Yeah. And then as you adapt to that, we'd want to reintroduce some of that faster movement. And so when we're talking about maybe modifying things for a little bit, it's like looking at something like a ski erg and being like, okay, maybe we remove the ski erg and replace it with the bike erg, like a little bit extra work on the bike so that it's not as much loading on that hamstring repetitively as we start to build it up, and then transition you back into doing that. That's kind of just one thought that I have. Like that's kind of probably what we'll end up having to do, so that we're not constantly just like irritating it.
Yeah.
So let's try an elevated bridge. So we're gonna come down, we're gonna do that single leg bridge. Okay. Yeah, but we're in from that longer lever position. So let's have you come down.
Okay.
And then we'll lie on our back and we'll put that leg up there.
So should I be back?
Slide back a little bit more. Yep. And let's try from there. And let's just do like 4 or 5 reps, just see how this feels.
Okay.
How's that feeling?
I can feel it, but I feel it like not as bad as when I'm on the ground. Mm-hmm. Like it's still there, but.
Try one on the ground.
Try one on the ground?
Yeah, let's just see.
Like that I feel a lot more.
Okay, so come back on the plate and try to keep that same knee angle.
Same knee angle?
Yeah.
Right about there?
Yeah. Still better.
Still feels a bit better.
Yeah.
With the elevation, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Take a rest there. Let's have you stand. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna do a little bit of testing of your hamstring.
Okay.
So we'll use, we have a force gauge that we use, and we'll kind of measure the actual force that you're generating.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to set a couple things up here. So I'm gonna have you pop up on to the box there.
Okay.
Let's put that around your ankle. We're gonna do both sides, so it doesn't matter which you start with. And then we'll
just like that?
Yeah. Pull it, that should be good. Pull it as tight as you can there. I can help you if you need it. Yeah, that should be good. And then let's have you pop up off the box for a second. Yeah, we're gonna have to move the box back a little bit. Play a little game with, okay, just pop up there for me. And then pull back towards the box. Stand up for me. Okay, let's try there. Oh. And now pull back towards the box there. Yeah, we're gonna test there.
Okay.
And then we might test a little farther out here. I'm just going to, just wanna see how far we are, just in case like, if we retest, we kind of know exactly how far we're. Okay, I'm just gonna jot that down because I will forget. So basically that little thing on there is connected to an app.
Oh, okay.
And so it'll give us like how much force, peak force in pounds that you can generate. So what you'll kind of do is we'll just do a little practice run here. Is like you'll slowly kind of ramp up into that tension.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna have you like peak, like contract as much as you can. Okay.
Gotcha.
So we'll do 2 on each side. So I'm just gonna sit on this box so you don't flip it.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna I'm gonna count you in.
Okay.
And then we'll, we'll ramp up and then we'll pull pretty hard. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, and go. And then go, pull hard, pull, and rest there. How'd that feel?
Good.
Okay. You get the idea?
Yeah.
So How much intensity do you think you pulled with there?
Sorry?
How much, like if you had to say 0 to 100, what were you at there, you think?
I might say like 90.
Okay. So this next one, we're going for it.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go. Go, 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 go. Pull, 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 hard. Pull, 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 and rest there. Nice. Okay. Let's have you switch sides.
Okay.
I'm just gonna drop this down. So we'll take that off, put it on the other side, see what we got on the other side. Any issues on that?
No issues on that side.
Okay.
Trying to get this tight.
It's okay. No rush. That should be good.
That should be good?
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see side to side. I'm curious.
I know. That's the moment of truth. Okay, so we'll do the same thing.
Okay.
So, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go. Go, go, go. Pull hard. Pull, 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 and rest there. Good. Take a little rest. How'd that feel? Subjectively.
Felt okay.
So comparatively.
Felt weaker.
So you would subjectively report that you feel like it's weaker there.
Yeah.
Okay. Any pain with that?
No pain with that one.
Do you, and it's okay if you do you feel hesitant to pull hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I feel hesitant.
So with this, it's like we want to obviously test. We want to try to get a max number, but we also don't want to push through discomfort. So it's like we could try to pull as max as you can until discomfort comes on. Because obviously if it's pain limiting, then we need to improve that in order for you to optimally contract.
Yeah.
So yeah, on this next one, we'll ramp up again. I want you to try to pull as hard as you can.
Okay.
Unless there's discomfort, and then you stop.
Okay. Perfect.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go. Go, 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 go. Pull, 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 and rest there. That was a bit better. How'd that feel?
Felt better.
Yep. I want to do one more on that side.
Yeah.
But definitely a bit of just like hesitancy there, right? Like,
and like I always think like it's more of like a mind thing than anything. Like even when I do deadlifts, like it's a mind game. Cause like I know it's there, but I know I can push through it harder. But I'm scared to to worsen it in a way.
Yeah, and that's probably a good thing. Like that feeling is actually probably your body being like, maybe we shouldn't do that because you don't have an injury that's super acute right now. But if we overload it too much, so there's a bit of subconscious protection there, probably for a good reason.
Yeah.
Which is what we want to improve, so that you don't have to be subconsciously thinking about that when you're trying to perform at your best, right? We don't want you worried like, if I'm going to be, transitioning from, the burpees to the run, that you're thinking about, okay, how's my hamstring going to feel when I push up from this burpee on the floor?
Yeah.
Like we don't want that, right? So that's definitely something we want to improve because that's probably just inhibiting your ability to
I also
perform.
think a lot when I do.
Just in general?
In general.
Yeah. I understand that. I'm similar. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, and go. Pull, pull, pull hard. Pull, 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 pull. Good, take a rest. That was better. So after the first one was a lot less. You had about 28 compared to on the right side you had 41. But on your second, the other two you had 37.
Okay.
So that's good. Like that's pretty good. That's pretty close. Not as big of a difference than as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign. But I think there's a difference between so you can be strong but not tolerating load well. And so we're seeing that your hamstring is similar to your other side in terms of like the strength being produced, but how it's tolerating load is not. great, side to side.
Okay.
And that's what we need to work on. So a lot of times it's a little bit challenging because you're strong enough to go deadlift a hard session, and your hamstring probably take it, but it's not ready to tolerate that load. So we have to treat it as how is it tolerating load versus how strong is it. So that means we're probably going to have to reduce the load so that the hamstring tolerates that first before we start really challenging that strength.
Okay.
Because like what's happening is you're just running into like the wall, so to speak, because you're strong enough, and that's why you're pushing through those deadlifts, but your hamstring's not tolerating it, and then every time you try to express that strength, it gets flared.
Yeah.
And you're just running in this circle of like flaring, kind of waiting till it gets better, loading it again, flares, and that's just like not productive. It also could lead to a big flare, and that's the other thing that we want to avoid.
And that's what probably happened last week, because like that was when not only that flared up, but my back flared up too after the deadlift session, because I'm compensating in other areas.
Probably a little bit hesitant to load through your hamstring, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so like more load's going to go through your back.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Okay, let's try a couple more things here. I want to try just having you do a little bit of jumping stuff, just to see how that feels. So we're going to start pretty basic with just like some pogo hops. So we'll do like 2-foot pogos, kind of like up and down. How's this feeling?
It feels good.
Okay, and then let's get a little more like knee bend.
A bit more knee bend?
Yeah.
Start to feel that a little bit more.
Okay, when do you feel it, like on the landing portion of that?
When I
absorb.
Kind of on the landing a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense when we think about like, so when we're landing, we're absorbing that force into that hinge position, right?
Yeah, because that's where,
Let's try doing like a full jump squat.
Full jump squat? Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
That feels okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because we're getting a little more like knee bend there.
Yeah.
Right? So when we get a full jump squat, we're getting more knee bend, which is taking a little bit less tension. So why like a squat doesn't bother you as much.
Yeah.
Versus like when we do that like 3/4 jump squat, we're not getting a ton knee bend, it's getting that hinge position.
Yeah.
It probably would be why like do you do kettlebell swings?
Yeah.
How's that been feeling?
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably why
because that's definitely the
yeah,
hinge
that's why
motion.
it doesn't feel great, and it's fast, like kind of rapid.
Exactly.
Right? Let's try doing like a broad jump. No burpee though.
No, okay. I was like, we do enough of those.
Just like, we'll just start here and we'll just like jump, land, jump, land.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do a little quicker. So like not, let's try to like, yeah, like let's try to make it reciprocal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feel it a little bit more.
A little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's try like a single leg. You can start with like controlling the landing first, and then we'll try to be a little more reciprocal on the way back.
Okay. This will be interesting. I don't feel any pain throughout it. Just feels weak.
Okay. Yeah. Let's try the other side. Let's just compare side to side. Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
What do we notice there?
That side felt less balanced in a way, but it felt better.
Okay. Now let's try going like fast, like as repetitive as you can in control. In control? Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. How's that?
No pain.
Okay. Let's do the other side just to compare.
Okay. It kind of both felt the same with that one.
Felt the same? Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna do it's called like a diagonal bound. So it's kind of like frolicking through the forest, you know? We'll kind of jump, jump, jump.
Okay.
Try to be in control. Nice. How's that?
That felt fun.
Let's do the same thing, but now fast. So I want you to try to drive off as hard as you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt okay.
No problem there. Okay. Let's try doing like, we're gonna be on one leg and we're gonna kind of like do a single leg hinge. So a little bit of speed if we can, where we're like kind of hinging quick and then trying to be powerful and drive through.
Okay. Yeah, I can feel that one.
Yeah. On what part of that, as you load that hip up?
Yeah, I can feel it here.
Yeah.
When we're loading.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try. Oh, that was loud. So we're gonna do what's called a depth drop.
Okay.
So we're just gonna be on the box and we're just gonna kind of like walk the plank and land. Let's try like 3 or 4 of those, just see how this feels.
So land into a squat?
Yeah, like a 3/4 position. Like I don't want it to be like a deep squat, but just like we're gonna land.
Absorb it.
Absorb it.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah. Try a couple of those. How's that?
That felt okay. Yeah, like I don't feel anything through there.
So on this next one, I want you to land and jump. So
Land
try to
and
absorb and then distribute that force straight up like quickly.
That felt okay.
Okay, do one more of those. So better than doing the repetitive quarter squat jumps, then.
Sorry?
Better than doing the repetitive like quarter squat jumps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that felt okay.
Okay, let's try same thing, but we're gonna do single leg.
Okay.
So just trying to like stick that
Single leg
landing.
down. Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is where I think too much when I do things.
Are you worried that it's gonna hurt you?
Well, no, I hesitate with anything, like, I don't know, anything box jumps or whatever, I get too much into my head.
About what?
I don't know, it's just hesitation.
In general?
Just in general.
Have you had anything happen to you when you've done a box jump?
Not really.
Is it the force? Is it the impact?
I think I'm just thinking too much about making things perfect. And then that kind of holds me back from like going full out on things.
Perfect in what way?
Like executing proper form and like, I don't know. No, it's hard to describe.
No, it's okay. I'm just interested. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try a couple more.
Yeah, that feels okay.
Okay. Now try landing and jumping. This one's a little bit harder to transition as quickly, so just try to be in control.
Okay. Like that.
Do a couple. It's all right.
I could feel that when I go to jump.
That transition.
Yeah, the transition.
So that's that transition from like absorbing and then distributing force. Now the hamstrings are going to eccentrically absorb a lot of force when we land. Like in like when we come down like this, we're absorbing a lot of that force through that.
Yeah.
And then when you're pushing through, you're now transitioning from like absorbing that to distributing. So that's why that transition piece there feels a little bit sore. So those are all things we want to work on improving, because that's where you're going to get, things are going to get a little more flared up. And right now you've been riding a good line of like not overdoing it. But again, as you ramp up your volume, as you think like, hey, I want to try to go faster, I want to try to have a better time in the Hyrox, like this is going to push you more, which may then lead you to going way over the intensity.
Yeah.
And you're probably already pushing yourself more in the last little while than you had last year in this stuff, I would imagine. If you're trying to go from like your one time to a faster time.
Yeah.
Like your training's probably more specific, more intense. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's right on it.
Yeah. So that's probably another reason why like this is creeping up a little bit, is just like you're just asking more demands of your body that you really haven't necessarily, not that you haven't exposed it to it, but like it's way more intense and way more consistent that is resulting in it loading that tissue a lot more. Yeah. And that's when we see things like this start to like creep up a little bit.
Okay.
Do you have any questions around any of that right now on the top of your head?
Not at the moment. Everything is starting to make a lot more sense.
Yeah, the good thing is that like that nerve involvement, which like I thought was going to be more of a thing, is not, which is good. And I think overall you're in a good spot from like where this injury could be if it was way more intense. So it's things we can manage now leading into your race, which is when? May?
March 30th.
Okay, so we're getting a little closer, but it's things we can at least start to work on leading into that. So I just want to take you through a couple things here, just to like kind of give you a sense. I've talked about it a lot, but like when we think about these things, I've been saying like tolerance line and tissues, right? So we can overload tissues in two ways. We can have one of two ways. We can have an acute spike and load. So you never did a Hyrox till you did a full Hyrox as hard as you could. That's going to be an acute spike and load to most of those tissues. Might not fare so well for your body, right? We can also have like this chronic over time build and load where we're exposing our tissues to new load, that it's just like we're doing it more frequent than the tissue's able to adapt because it's a lot of new things. And then we can go over that tolerance line and get a response, right? And I think that's kind of what we saw with you. You're probably ramping up your training, you're doing more Hyrox stuff. Then you add in soccer, which is like new in the sense that you hadn't put your body in those types of loads in a while since like rugby season. So that's a new load. And I think that probably just led you to overloading that hamstring and it getting irritated.
Yeah.
And then what happens is your body's smart, it drops your tolerance line down because it goes, hey, I don't want you to go play soccer 4 more times this week, or else you probably will do maybe some real damage, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the deadlift. Why you're feeling that is your body being like, hey, you're flirting with a line here that if you keep pushing based off what I'm experiencing, like you might actually really do more harm to this area, right? And that's why you're feeling that protection almost. The good thing is your tolerance line isn't that low that like when you load your body with everyday activities, you don't notice it. But if it did get flared up enough, you might notice it just like walking.
Yeah.
Which is why like when you came out here and you're like, I noticed it a little bit, we were probably pushing you up onto that tolerance line just because we're testing a lot of things. Yeah. And now you walk and it's like, oh yeah, I feel that because like you're creeping over that tolerance line, right?
Yeah.
And so what you've done a really good job is like, this has probably dropped down since your injury, right? And it's probably hanging out here. You've probably been flirting with like training in and around here, right? It's not enough to really cause too much, right? But if we get an acute spike in that load anytime soon, which even thinking about racing is going to be an acute spike in intensity, it may result in flaring this thing up to where we get a big drop down. Yeah. And that's what we want to avoid, right? And so today we're trying to find where is your tolerance line roughly so we can like work a little bit above that line with loading. Because what do you think happens to that line if we do that?
So that's the
like if we start loading you here progressively for let's say 2-3 weeks, what do you think is going to happen to this line? Do you think it's going to go up or down?
It would probably go up.
You got it. Just like if you were to get stronger or coach your clients to get stronger, you're going to progressively overload them and they're going to adapt. Yeah. Same thing with tolerance to tissues, right? So you're going to load your tissue, it's going to go up. And then we have a new tolerance line, we have more to load. My goal is like, hey, let's get this way up here.
Yeah. Because
you want to keep pushing your body, you want to try to get faster times, you want to probably increase your training volume, all that stuff. Let's push that tolerance line way up. And we can do that with like specifically loading that area.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you've just had a missing piece of like loading that hamstring enough, which is why like the foam rolling and the stretching and like the laser stuff, helps reduce some of the symptoms, but then it just comes back when you go to load it.
Yeah.
Because you're not changing that line at all.
Exactly.
That's been a little bit the missing link.
Yeah.
And you've probably changed this line a little bit on your own just with training, but it kind of only can get you so far until it's like,
yeah.
Then you're like, well, should I push through this? Should I not? What do I do?
Yeah.
Then you're in your head.
Exactly.
We don't want that. So I kind of break rehab into 3 phases. Calm it down, build it up, and then bridge the gap. Bridging the gap between rehab and performance in your case is like Hyrox. And so I think you've done a decent job of probably getting yourself here, and you never were really here.
Yeah.
Right? That would be like if you really flared it up, like you know how you've hurt yourself before and you can't walk the next day, it's like really acute.
Yeah, like this has realistically not stopped me from doing like
Totally.
everything. I'd say it's like restricted my limitations.
Yeah.
But I'd say, yeah, it wasn't like my quad 4 contusion where it was like, bam, you're out, like you can't walk, you're doing nothing. You're
Totally.
out for 3-4 weeks or longer.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I don't think you're here. So I think you're here, which is why I keep saying like this is a good thing. We're not like dealing with this phase, which can be tough. Now where you run into trouble here is what you're dealing with is we need to increase load specifically to that hamstring in a way that it's going to adapt. Mm-hmm. And we need to modify a little bit. So kind of how I've been mentioning, like maybe we modify how much you're doing the skier. Maybe we modify even right now like deadlifting and try to get you stronger in another way as we specifically load your hamstring with some of the stuff that I give you so we can build that tolerance up. Then in the bridge the gap phase, we start to like, one, increase load. We're always going to challenge you. But now we start to like reintroduce some of the movements we've removed and start to test out sport specific stuff to make sure that your hamstring's tolerating that. Because a lot of times people will get to like here, pain levels will be gone, they feel pretty good, but we haven't exposed you to a lot of the stuff you're gonna get here.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, I'm good, and you go back and you push it, and then you end up flaring yourself up.
Yeah.
And now you're in this cycle that you don't wanna be in. It's like annoying and frustrating.
Yeah, and I've been there.
Totally. Yeah, it sucks. And so this is where I think we can really make a lot of that work. The good news is that we don't necessarily have to be like completely pull your training. We don't have to, really like freak out too much, but we want to be mindful so that this doesn't keep progressing and then become a problem closer to March.
Yeah.
So, what questions do you have for me there?
That all makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, and like that's the game plan is like doing Hyrox, like pain-free, no setbacks, and then especially as we're leading into rugby season as well, like that was another thing was how's this going to feel for rugby season? Am I going to set things back? Because we're starting that training up soon as well.
When's that start?
Right now we just started like indoor on weekends, but it's just running and playing touch rugby.
Yeah.
And we don't start actual practices until April.
But close.
Yeah, so it's getting close.
Yeah. So this is a good time to work on it. Yeah, no, that's good. I think we can definitely make some progress with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds great.